Welcome to Cheat Masters. Today's story is about Kathy, who sacrificed her 30-year marriage in pursuit of freedom and happiness. I've been married to Kathy for over 3 decades. We met when we were young, and now I'm 59 and she's 55. Together, we've raised 3 adult children. Our life together has had its ups and downs, but we've always supported each other. Kathy means everything to me. Kathy has friends who are passionate about feminism, identity politics, and social justice, ideas that are somewhat different from my own. While I don't always share the same views, I've accepted that everyone has their own beliefs. Occasionally, Kathy and I would talk about these subjects, trying to understand each other's perspectives. At first, I didn't take her views too seriously. They seemed a bit far-fetched to me. Kathy would often speak passionately about how women had been oppressed, which made me uneasy, especially since she hadn't experienced such discrimination personally. These conversations made me uncomfortable, and I'd try to change the topic. I'd seen women on TV advocating similar ideas, often speaking angrily when their arguments lost ground, and I feared Kathy was being influenced by them. One day, Kathy expressed dissatisfaction with our marriage, calling it stagnant. I suggested therapy, hoping we could work through our issues, but she insisted on taking a solo vacation instead. Reluctantly, I agreed, only to find out later that she had gone with her friends, whom I thought were a bad influence on her. When Kathy returned after a week, she seemed like a completely different person. She had cut her hair short, and there was a newfound confidence in her. She didn't greet me with a hug or any affection, which made me feel like a stranger to her. Kathy started spending more time with her friends, attending protests that I didn't agree with. We had a serious talk where I voiced my concerns and urged her to reconsider her choices, but she didn't listen and continued on her path. Things escalated when she was arrested for blocking traffic during a protest. I had to pick her up from the police station, and on the ride home, we had a heated argument. She stayed silent, which only made me more worried. Soon after, Kathy began using social media, particularly TikTok, to share her feminist beliefs. She gained a large following and began dedicating hours to creating content. It became clear that this was now a major part of her life. One day, I came across one of Kathy's videos and the message left me stunned. She said, "Good morning. Do you want to end up as a miserable older woman? None of us do. But we've all seen those women who are always unhappy, always complaining, always nagging their husbands. I'm sure we all want to avoid that fate. Here's how it starts. Raising a family, working hard, and then in our 50s or 60s, we suddenly realize we've lost ourselves. We don't have a life outside of our families or husbands, and we end up feeling resentful. Here's my advice. We need to create lives of our own. We need something that fulfills us, makes us feel alive, independent of our families. Even in a good marriage, we can feel unfulfilled. Divorce isn't necessarily the solution, but finding our own joy is crucial. Life is short, and time slips away. If this were our last year, would we want to live it the same way? I doubt it. So let's embrace each day, cherish our marriages, but also find our identities beyond our families. Ladies, let's break free. There's so much out there waiting for us. Life doesn't end when the kids leave home. We can still find purpose and happiness in so many ways. I felt as though Kathy was subtly encouraging women to leave their marriages. That evening, I confronted her, and to my surprise, she told me she was leaving and had already packed her bags. I tried to stop her, but she responded by saying she was exhausted with her life and was craving freedom and happiness. She said she no longer wanted the responsibilities of being a grandmother or my wife. Instead, she wanted to live for herself, explore, and break free from what she described as her prison. I was at a loss for words, feeling as if I had lost my wife to toxic influences that had shaped her thinking. I didn't stop her. I simply told her I would miss her and that she could return whenever she was ready. Kathy moved into a small apartment in the heart of the city. I informed our children, who reassured me that it was just a phase and she would return soon. I agreed and waited, but my waiting came to an end when I received divorce papers. It became evident that this wasn't just a phase. She had planned it all along. I tried reaching out to Kathy, but she didn't answer. My kids attempted to talk her out of the divorce, but she shut them down as well. A few weeks later, the divorce was finalized, and after 30 years of marriage, I found myself alone. The next day, I saw a new video from Kathy. She said, "Well, I did it. Here I am on my new bed, which feels like a princess bed. It rained all day yesterday while I was moving, but today I woke up feeling different. I feel free, like a weight has been lifted, and I'm genuinely excited for the first time in years. My place is a bit messy since I haven't unpacked everything yet, and the apartment is small, so I'll need to get organized. But I'm really grateful for this change. It's been a couple of weeks of nonstop moving, but now I'm settled in my new apartment. I'll give you a little tour tomorrow. For now, I just wanted to say hello. Oh, and my very handsome boyfriend is making dinner for me. Life is good. Watching this, I was heartbroken. She had destroyed our home and was now openly flaunting her new life. My kids saw the video as well and called to console me, encouraging me to move on. Eventually, I did. I met an incredible woman named Maya, who was in her early 40s and a high school teacher. We clicked instantly, and things progressed steadily between us. I never told my ex-wife about Maya because I didn't think it mattered. I planned a trip with my kids and Maya, so they could all meet and get to know each other. Maya suggested I invite Kathy as a courtesy, thinking it was important for her to know I had someone in my life now. I called Kathy to invite her, but she initially declined. Later, my daughter called Kathy and urged her to join us, letting her know it would be the only invitation. On the day of our planned boat ride, Kathy was the last to arrive alone. I introduced her to Maya, mentioning how happy I was with her. I wish I could have captured Kathy's reaction at that moment. Her face turned red. She hadn't expected me to move on. Throughout the trip, I couldn't help but feel a sense of satisfaction at Kathy's discomfort around Maya and me. Even though Maya's intentions were kind and noble, I was genuinely enjoying Kathy's unease. A few days later, Kathy posted another video. She said, "The last few days have been extremely difficult for me, and I blame myself for it, even though I know it's not entirely my fault. Deep down, I expected that I would have a strong physical and emotional reaction when I found out my estranged husband was in a new relationship. Although we've been separated for a year, we still spent time together as a family." Kathy said, "He had repeatedly reassured me that he wasn't seeing anyone else, but eventually, I discovered he was. I wasn't sure if I should have gone on the trip. I didn't want to give him the wrong impression, but my daughter convinced me to join, reminding me that he might not invite me again. Looking back, I understand why she said that. What hurt me the most wasn't that he found someone new. I have a boyfriend myself, but that he hadn't told me. I felt safe around him, believing he still cared for me. He even invited me on this trip with him and our daughters, and I accepted. However, during the trip, I came across some painful text messages, and it was devastating. The trauma that followed was overwhelming. I broke down physically and emotionally, feeling as though I completely lost control. It was a terrible experience, and I'm struggling to process it. Her pain wasn't rooted in losing me, but rather in losing the comfort, support, and stability I provided. The real turning point came when she found out that I had told another woman I loved her, not just casually, but with genuine affection. Unlike Kathy's boyfriend, who was only looking for something casual, I was deeply invested, both emotionally and financially. When a man like me is in love, he often dreams of building a life with the woman he loves. For Kathy, the real heartbreak was realizing that she had lost that role in my life to someone else. After that, I began receiving countless calls from Kathy, expressing regret and reminding me of the times I had asked her to come back. In response, I told her it was too late. She was no longer part of my life. That chapter had closed. She had made her choices, shaped her own circumstances, and now she had to live with the consequences. A few days later, Kathy posted another video. She said, "Things aren't going well for me. I keep thinking about how good things used to be. Maybe all of this is my fault. Maybe I was selfish or self-centered. I'm struggling with all the pretending, trying to act like I'm fine. I think I was in shock before, but now reality is settling in. I know it's just a separation, and worse things happen in the world, but I feel uncertain about my future. I can only remember the good times. It's hard to recall anything bad. There was this lovely woman who was a close friend. She even invited me to dinner tonight, and I bought gifts for her children. I thought maybe I should go and spend time with them instead of being home alone, but it feels strange. I miss my family and being part of a family. Maybe it's worth feeling miserable if it means having my family back, because without them, I don't know who I am anymore. I'm not crying because I'm drinking. I'm crying because it's all just really hard. I hope you're having a happy Saturday. I'll probably be okay later. But right now, everything I've ever known feels like it's gone." Kathy said, "Family isn't together anymore. They're still here physically, but it's not the same. I'm getting over to spend time with another family who kindly invited me, but it doesn't feel easy. My daughter called me and asked me to do something about the situation, but I told her that her mother chose this life. I tried to stop her, but she wanted freedom. She has her freedom now, a new relationship and a chance to explore the world as she likes." My daughter agreed, saying she understood yet still felt sympathy for her mother's poor choices. A few days later, Kathy posted another video. She said, "Good morning. Sometimes I wonder what I'm doing and why I made the choices I did. Last night, I dreamed about my estranged husband. In the dream, he came to me with a badly hurt hand, crying and needing my help. I offered to move in to take care of him, and it felt like we were back to the beginning, as if we could start over. Waking up was hard. It's strange how dreams can feel so real, as if my heart is telling me I still love him and always will. But things are different now. Sometimes I get angry thinking about fairness. He wants to give me some money, but it doesn't feel like enough. I played a big role in everything we built together. My parents even lend us money. I was there through all the ups and downs, encouraging him, supporting him. Yet it seems like all my mistakes are held against me, while his are overlooked. I'm constantly blamed for everything that went wrong. Now he has more financial security, while I'm struggling just to find a decent place to live. Some people, especially men, seem to think women don't deserve anything, that they're freeloaders who should fend for themselves. After years of caring for others, after 30 years, I feel devalued, like I don't matter. It's hard. Watching this, I felt as though she had completely lost touch with reality. Kathy had received a fair settlement in the divorce, done entirely by the book, and she had no right to paint me as a villain. I wanted to respond, even considered taking legal action, but Maya convinced me to let it go. Our kids also called Kathy, urging her to apologize for what she had posted and warning her that they would cut her off if she didn't. With little choice, Kathy issued a weak apology, citing her mental health as the reason. A few days later, I married Maya, and I unfollowed Kathy on all social media. Dear listeners, please share your thoughts in the comments and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.